Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Just stop. Now is Me Time. I'm here with the wonderful author of Me Time. It's an amazing book and is an amazing woman who all the way from England is going to share with you her story. Welcome, Adrienne. Tell me, what is your story?
Okay, hi Marina. It's lovely to connect with you finally. And yes, my book is Me Time: The Woman's Ultimate Guide to Fulfilling Your Potential. And my story. How long have you got? Basically,
As
I've
long as you
been
want, we are in Me Time zone.
uh, I've been a coach and mentor for quite a few years now, but the reason I got there was I was having all sorts of challenges in my life, all sorts of things were going on, and I came to a stop in the road, and I thought I have to do something about this, and I got all sorts of processes and tools that enabled me to move forward. And earlier this year, I met with this incredible man who suggested that I write a book. And my book, Me Time, The Woman's Ultimate Guide, is all about helping women move forward in their lives, find their true potential, the joy that they've got in their heart, so they can get out of their stuck state, they can move forward. Because I really believe that too many women are not necessarily stuck, but they're on this treadmill. They give themselves to lots of people. They look after people, and they've got a title. They're, the wife, the boss, the mother, the daughter, and they're always looking after other people. And there's never any time for them. And so this is about them. This is about learning to love themselves so they can really move forward in their lives. Because once they can do that, they're then able to give more to other people.
So tell me, what is the magic moment that brought you into the magic of right now? What had happened in your life to make you decide to put yourself out there so you could inspire other women to claim their right to happiness?
I was on a treadmill, not married, not with children, but I was on this treadmill, and I getting older, and I suddenly realized that life is too short not to be the greatest person you can be, not to give as much as you can possibly give. And I'd always wanted to, but I just felt that I was just biding time. I was saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I never put myself out there. And by writing the book, I felt that I had really broken through that barrier, because it's scary, but very exciting to say, I'm going to do something different. Because often we have people around us that don't want us to move forward. They don't want us to move out of our comfort zone, because they like having us there. They like having us be part of their world, because if they're stuck in their comfort zone, no matter how horrible it is, no matter how it's not working for them, they just feel, I don't want you to move away, because if you move away, what's going to happen to me? And so I got to the stage where I just thought, I can't do this anymore. My health was suffering. I just felt that it was time for me to step out, and really help people and show people that, if I can do it at 67 years old, then anybody can do it. And that's my mission now, to help people just get out of their state, and to realize that, I've got this new mantra, which is life is too short not to make your heart sing. And you have to do what brings you joy. You can't be on this this hamster wheel forever, because life is too short. You never know what's going to happen around the corner. And nobody laid on their deathbed and said, you know, I wish I'd worked more. I wish I'd given more to somebody else. It's always, you know, why didn't I look after myself more? I've spoken to so many people recently who've had health issues and family issues where they just realize that they've been giving and giving and giving, and there's never anything for them. And they're like, what happened to my life? You know, I'm 50, I'm, you know, 49, I'm 60, whatever. And I'm not being true to myself. I've given everybody else, and the bottom line is I don't feel I'm worthy. So what I do is I help women find out how they can love themselves. And it's very simple and very easy, but it takes a lot of courage to do that. And you've got to really want to do it. So this is my mission now, to help, to go out and help as many women as I can just find who they really are and what they really, really want to do with their lives.
Wow, this is makes me think of myself. I could hear myself. You are speaking in my own words. Because I remember 1,000 days ago when I went away from home to see what is available out there for you and me equally. I felt that I was 51 years old, but I felt that I'm 100 years old. So now I feel that I'm 54 years young. So life is not shrinking anymore. I'm not getting older anymore. I'm getting younger. So that's a very powerful feeling, and nobody can take that away from you. Once you step into the me time zone, once you realize that it's a choice to add life to your day or to add days to your life, it's just a very powerful truth, and nobody can change it.
Exactly.
Me time is a choice. So what are the choices available for your clients? What is your insight into your own journey that you can share with our listeners?
Well, the book, obviously, but the book is about loving yourself, and it's about taking things very slowly, because, you know, nobody woke up and said, oh my God, I'm 55 and look at my life. Everything happened gradually. You know, you put on the weight gradually, you were in a bad relationship gradually. Nothing happened overnight. So we need to be looking at how to change it. And I say, you have to start by, you know, little steps. And the first step is saying the choice. You said it before about choosing. And every morning I wake up and I say, today is a wonderful day. I choose to make it so. And it's giving people these very simple tools that they can use every single day. It's like brushing your teeth. It becomes a habit, and the more you do, the better things get. You know, there's the law of gratitude, the law of attraction. What you put out there is what you get back. So it's learning to be good to yourself, and being able to put that forward, being able to say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, and believing it, because whatever's going on in your life, you usually find that it all comes down to you can't move forward, you can't earn more money, you can't get a better relationship or improve the relationship you're in, you can't lose the weight. It's all down to your limiting beliefs. And what I do is show people how they can get rid of those limiting beliefs very simply, very easily, and replace them with positive, amazing processes that they can go away and use on a day-to-day basis. I offer 12 and 24-week programs where people can literally work with me on a weekly basis for an hour every single week, and we just go through your stuff and we just move it out the way. And it's so wonderful to see people just just changing, just becoming their power, stepping out of the victim zone and becoming into their power and their uniqueness, because everybody's got this light inside them that needs to shine, and that's what I help them do. And sometimes they don't even know what that particular light is, but it doesn't actually matter, because as we work through it, they start feeling more and more empowered, and they feel capable, and it gives them confidence and the ability. So they'll stop eating junk food, and they'll stop being bad to themselves, or setting up arguments or fights or whatever, stopping the negative behavior that is causing whatever is causing in their life. If it's about earning more money, we go into why and where those limiting beliefs came from. Because up till the age of about 7, we're like little sponges, and we take in all this stuff from like our parents, our environment, our teachers, our friends, and these beliefs get buried inside us, and we've no idea that they're there half the time. And then we try and make money, or we try and lose weight, or we try and get into a new relationship, and every single time the same things happen, and it doesn't work. And we end up going into this victim mode, saying, oh, you know, I'm bad, and beating ourselves up. And it's not about that. It's about getting rid of those beliefs and then moving on. Because beating yourself up doesn't, you know, people are out your own worst enemies. You end up treating yourself far worse than you treat a very good friend. And so you have to learn to love yourself. So it's a whole sort of program. I give all sorts of, I do visualization techniques and all sorts of other things included in their 2-week program, that they can really, really start moving their lives forward.
Wow, I just picked up, you said so many amazing truths, and you put on a plate, you know, like in one go, and it's like this exotic fruit in front of me. But pick up one. You mentioned that most of our lives, most of us are obsessed with the income instead of thinking of the outcome. So how would you define the outcome for yourself?
It's got to be an inside job. You've got to believe.
I love that. The inside job. I love it.
You've got to believe in yourself. And the only way you can do that, the only way you can believe in yourself, the only way I can believe in myself is doing everything that I really practice what I preach. I do all these processes every single day. I talk to myself, and I build up a belief inside me that I am this wonderful, amazing, awesome woman. And I tell myself that every single day. And I think that's what I want for my clients. That's what I want for all the people out there that are listening, that are going to hear about me. But I want that for, you know, if I could touch every single woman in the world, that would be the most awesome thing, amazing. And it would be incredible to be able to do that. And I don't believe that I'm going to be able to touch every single woman, but to be able to just get my message out there, because I really do believe that it doesn't matter how high-powered women are, how much they're into their sort of their jobs or their families or whatever else they're doing. So many of them are so focused on outside influences that they don't look within, and they have to look within to be able to get that inner truth. Because happiness is an inside job. We don't get our happiness, our satisfaction from things outside. You know, people say, oh, he made me unhappy, or he made me cross. No, it's how you're dealing with the situation. And the tools that I give people, with the tools that I use, it helps you deal with the situations that come up. And it gives you the processes to be able to not be a victim, and be dealt with circumstances. Somebody said to me the other day, a brilliant thing, and it's about I don't let circumstances dictate to me. I dictate to circumstances. And that's how it should be. You should be saying, this is my path and this is what I want to do. That's not to say that we don't listen to the universe and we don't sort of go sort of like that, because we can't go in this straight, because we have to sit back and enjoy the journey. But we have to make goals and we have to say, this is who I am. And the only way you can do that is literally by putting your hand up and saying, you know what, I let them treat me like that, and I'm coming out of the victim mode. I'm going to stop believing that somebody else can make me happy. Somebody else can, sometimes we go out and we see this fabulous pair of shoes and you go, oh, I have to have them, and you spend way over the top on this pair of shoes and you bring them home. And 3 days later you think, oh, I shouldn't have spent that money because I've now got credit card debt or whatever, and the shoes are just sitting on a shelf and they haven't made you happy. When you're happy inside, then you can buy the shoes or not. You can see the shoes and think, oh, they're lovely, but I don't actually need them at the moment, or I can't actually pay for them at the moment. It doesn't matter. It's not stuff. The stuff is outside, but what you need to do is be building up inside. And once you've built up inside, then everything just starts working. It's amazing how, the weight falls off and the money and the opportunities come in and people come into your life and lots of love, because you're radiating love and people want to be in your sphere. They want to go, oh, I want what she's got. And so they'll be with you all the time, and they'll want to be part of your circle, because they can see that you're giving them something really, really amazing.
Taking with me from the wonderful story you shared, from what you are sharing with us, from your own life experiences and emotional zone, is that happiness is not something you can chase. It's not something external. It's always inside. It's always something you could only share, and you could only share because you have so much. You don't have a choice. You have to share. And I remember when I start changing the way I think, the way I look at things, I realize that words have power. And in my own experience, change only started when I start changing the words I use when talking to myself.
Yes.
So this is how I start to see the things I want to change in a different light. And when people were saying to themselves, I heard that many, many times, that the circumstances, I can't change them. Of course, you can't change your circumstances, but you could change the words, the thoughts you are addressing those circumstances. So it's almost like changing the words you describe yourself with will change the things you want to change. So the moment you start talking to yourself as if you are your best friend, as if you are falling in love with yourself all over again, everything changes. So that curiosity about yourself is something most people are burying that alive at very early stages in their life. And I wonder, what would be your advice to somebody who doesn't really know who they are and they are not even interested? I went to see a movie the other day, and after that I had dinner, and right next to me it was a couple, and they were checking their phone throughout the whole dinner. They never said a word, and at the end, when the bill came, he said, I will take care of this, after all, it's our first date. And she was, oh, thank you. What you said was your name? And I wasn't sure if I should cry or laugh. It was like unbearably ridiculous. What is the world coming to? Is the words we are saying to ourselves and the words we are not saying to other people. And it's all about choices. But what would be your a recommendation for somebody who need to start discovering who they are? Because if somebody else is not interested in you, at least you have a divine duty toward yourself to discover who you are. If somebody else doesn't remember your name, at least you could discover who you are, what is your unique gift, that place of abundance inside, that you could bring it out. So then people will come to you and they will be attracted to you because of that gift you are sharing. So what would be your advice? What somebody could start to discover who they are? Because it is an adventure of the mind after all. Where one could start?
It's very interesting that you said about that dinner. I've seen so many people doing that, and they sit there with their phones and they're in their own little bubble. And people like that, we can never reach. We can never reach because they're too into their own whatever they're doing. But if somebody really wants to do something, they really aren't happy with where they are, the first thing they need to do is to literally say to themselves, I do one of my first processes with any new client is what I call this mirror thing, the mirror work. And it's to actually hold up a mirror and look in your own eyes and say, I love and accept myself. And sometimes that can be an incredibly painful process because often we do that. And when you first do it, you look over your shoulder, you look in the corner, you look at the spot on your nose, or that your hair needs cutting or whatever. But to look into your own eyes and say, I love you is the most powerful but very, very difficult thing to say. And sometimes stuff will come up. And if I'm coaching somebody, we can work through that and really sort of go into sort of more depth. But it's a very good place to start. Another good place to start is literally, you said it, words are so powerful. The words that we use to ourselves. If you wake up in the morning and as soon as the alarm goes off, you've got this worry and that worry and this is going on and that's going on. And you're like full of stuff. By the time you get out, you're in this sort of blue sort of bubble going, ugh. And what I always suggest is, if the alarm goes off, turn the alarm off and breathe and thank your bed for a great night's sleep. Be grateful that you're well and healthy and you're alive and that you're alive to see another day. And who knows what excitement might turn up that day? Who knows what adventures, who you might bump into, who you might see. So the first thing I always say to people is when you wake up in the morning, turn the alarm off and breathe. Don't rush out of bed. Just take a breath and say, today is a wonderful day. I really choose to make that so and really believe it. And walk into the bathroom and look in the mirror while you're cleaning your teeth and you say, morning, gorgeous, how are you? Which is what I do every morning, and just make a big game out of it. Just say, hello, how are you? I love you. You look awesome today. And just to make it fun and silly. And if you live with somebody, let them see how silly it is, and it's to make it fun because we take ourselves far too seriously and we beat ourselves up. And that's not the way to love a really wonderful friend. And that's who we are. We are our own best friend and we have to treat ourselves as such.
Wow, this is so powerful. So it's all about making room to understand, because you feel that you know yourself, you know who you are, nobody knows you better, and actually you don't understand who you are. So it's making room to understand the backstage of your mind, the feelings behind your thoughts, the feelings you hold behind your thinking. And your emotions are really the ones to make or break the relationship you have with yourself in this lifetime. So would
Absolutely.
you say that exposing yourself, making yourself to available to better life experiences would help, like laughter, being in good company, treating yourself, having me time in one in one
Absolutely.
would that
Absolutely.
help your life, the quality of your life, and will determine the quality of
Mm.
your relationship with yourself?
Definitely, definitely. In my book, I talk about being grateful for what you have in your life, being good to yourself, which is taking yourself out to, treating yourself like you're on a date, being good to yourself, doing nice things for yourself, not always shopping in sales, being grateful for what you've already got in your life and seeing yourself for this wonderful, amazing person that you are, and building this strength inside to to be able to deal with, because nobody says that life is perfect and stuff happens, and we know stuff happens. And this is one of my things when I talk to clients and they tell me something that's happened during the week and it's been a big thing, and they always say to me, I remember what you said stuff happens, and they always laugh, and I said, yeah, it's just stuff, it doesn't matter in the greater scheme of things, it doesn't matter, let it go, let it just let it over your head. But just remember that you're strong inside and you can deal with this. And that's I think the greatest thing to be able to do when you've got the strength inside you, then you can move forward and you can do anything that you want. And becomes everything becomes possible. And I always think it's like magic, because when you start loving yourself, really everything starts working. It really does.
Wow. So tell me, the magic moment is when you realize that shrinking is not for you, doubt is not for you, and should not be for anyone else. So you decided to come out from your own comfort zone and start sharing, start inspiring other people to be more.
Yes.
Would you say that finding a source of inspiration and involving yourself into a project that is exciting and that makes you feel good about yourself would be two solutions to the same challenge each one of us is facing?
Mm, definitely. When you realize, because I think what you said about stepping out of my comfort zone, because I've always loved writing. Even as a child, I loved writing. But when I decided that I was going to write a book, it was very scary. I went, oh yeah, yeah, I'll put my hand up and yes, I'll do that. But then when it was like, oh my God. And then suddenly you realize you are so far out of your comfort zone. It is really, really scary, but very exciting. And then as you start doing that, it becomes easier. And then once that book is published and you start talking to people about it, it's then that you suddenly realize, oh my God, I have stepped so far out of my comfort zone. And it's so empowering, but not just empowering for me, it's empowering for the people that I'm talking to. And now I've got such a mission, such a message to give out to people. And I know that everybody's got that inside them. They've got dreams. We all, as children, we all had dreams and visions of what we wanted to be. And then, life happens, and it just beats us up a lot of the time, and you end up sort of what's that expression, living lives of quiet desperation, and you just do the same things day in, day out, and you love your family, you love the people you work with or whatever, and you might complain a little bit, but you don't ever think that there's a way out, because how could there possibly be? And when you find out there is, it's just the most magical moment. It really is. And when you find out that you can really do it. But one thing I will say is that I could not have done what I've done without having an awesome mentor sort of pushing me and guiding me and helping me, because it's the most, it's a very, very scary thing to do on your own. And it's very easy to fall by the wayside, to say, oh, well, I won't do it today. I won't, I won't say it's a wonderful day today. Or, I'm too tired. I won't say it tonight when I go to sleep. Thank you for a wonderful day. I won't do this. I won't do that. But if you've got somebody that you're accountable to, and somebody who is there for you when you don't believe in you, that is the most incredible feeling, when you're like, oh, I can't do this. I'm just useless and hopeless, and all the terrible things that we say to ourselves. And then this amazing person says, I believe in you. And they might not say it in those sort of words, but I know you can do it. Of course you can do it. And what I want you to do by next week is blah, 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 blah. And you go, oh, really? And you go, yeah, you can, and you can do it. I know you can do it. And they send you off. And it's like, I guess with a child learning to, say, ride a bicycle, and you see them going and they're going and they're going, and you're going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you let them go suddenly, and they go, and it's like, oh my God. And suddenly they're like, oh my God, I'm doing this on my own. It's so exciting. But yes, I could never, ever have done any of this without my own coach and mentor.
You see, it's so beautiful what you are saying, because I experienced the same, and it was an entire team that made me discover north, because I was going all the time. I was busy going, but I was going in the wrong direction. I was going against my own interest, and I was going to an early grave. So what is the secret of a long, happy life, a fulfilled life? I remember when I start dreaming, because the only dreams which become reality are the dreams you dream awake. So I was dreaming awake, thinking, what do I do next? Is nothing between me, where I am right now, and where I want to be. Mm-hmm. So I just realized that you start growing your own flamingo wings, and there isn't another way. You have to fly. You have to allow yourself to explore the uncertainty which is out there, and discover what is available for you. So what is your secret? What is your secret to you have a happy life, you got a brilliant mind, you have a beautiful personality, and you are so amazing inside out. What is your secret?
One of the things you just said made me think of, I think it was Richard Branson who said, you have to jump and then grow your wings on the way down. And I think that's a big secret. You have to write your goals. You have to dream. Dreaming is very, very important, but in such a way that you become almost obsessed by your dreams, but knowing and believing that the universe is going to help you. And that's something that I've learned over time, that you can set your goals, but you have to allow the universe to guide you as well. And I've got this thing, I mention it in my book, and I call it the sat nav. And it's like having a sat nav in your car, and you set it, but you get to the end of the road and the sat nav goes, say, go left, and you go, no, I know the way, and you go right. And then you get lost and totally stressed. And that's the same. We have a sat nav, which is the universe, I believe, that looks after us. And the way to a goal is never in a straight line. It's always very sort of windy. And we have to say, okay, I don't know best. And you have to allow the universe to guide you. And we have, I believe that everybody has it, and we need to tune into it. This inner intuition, this feeling of, I know what's right. If something doesn't feel right for me personally, I get this sort of weird feeling in my stomach. I've had it for years, but I've only recently, last few years, really started tuning into it and knowing what feels right for me. And if it feels right, I go for it. And if it doesn't, I don't do it. but you have to learn to let the universe guide you and have a really good coach and mentor and somebody who'll believe in you, because it's like anything, it takes a long time to build up the beliefs. You can say, Zig Ziglar said, motivation is like bathing. You have to do it every day for it to be effective. And all these processes that I teach, you have to do every single day. You can't not do them, because you need to be building up your inner resources. So you have to do them every day. And if you do them, once a week, then it's not gonna get you there. So you've got to be focused, but you've also got to have, if you like, the willingness of, like a child, you've got to play, because life is a game and you have to see it as such. And it's not meant to be a struggle. It's not meant to be serious, but you have to have this inner ability to be able to get that. And if you can't, then you have problems, because you're struggling against this, I want this, I want, and if you want it so desperately, it won't happen, because that's how your vibration is. You'll be saying one thing with your heart and your head's doing something else, and that's where all the limiting beliefs come in. I'm sort of digressing into all sorts of things at the moment, but that's what I mean. You have this limiting beliefs that will hold you back. And if your heart says one thing, like, okay, I want to make more money, and your head says, no, your head says, I want to make more money, and your heart says, oh, but my parents always said that I would never, poor people don't get any money, or something like that, then the two aren't congruent. So there's always something that will stop you. And so you have to learn to build up these resources and inside. And the only way to do that is by doing daily processes. And there's loads of books that I read, there are loads of books that I recommend to my clients that help them and just guide them and just give them a different sort of insight, because there's so much fabulous information out there. We're so lucky to be around now when there's the internet and the web and everything, and we can find so much stuff out without even leaving the comfort of our own home. It's awesome. But you do need somebody who's going to be there for you, and somebody who's been there as well, and somebody who's done it, more than the t-shirt, several times, to actually help you to see how you can really move forward. Because we so often we'll do a couple of steps and then we'll get pulled back again. We'll get pulled back again by that little bugger called the comfort zone. It'll say, oh no, come back, you don't want to be out there because it's uncomfortable and it's horrible. Even though inside here is like, it's not very good, it's better than being out there, because it's scary out there, because we don't know what's out there. But anything worth having is outside the comfort zone. I found that out.
Would you say that your lifestyle could influence your performances and your thinking, your abilities, your relationship, your sex life, your wealth, your inner self? And once you decide to unleash your inner strength, your inner greatness, you are not afraid anymore of your inner greatness, everything changes?
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. It's a fear. It's a fear. What happens if I really am as powerful as I think I am? What happens if I'm really as amazing as I think I am? How scary is that? All the people that I know might disappear. They won't like me anymore. There's all this stuff that goes on. What will happen? It's this fear of the unknown. We go to the cinema and we see all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and we never question it. But when it comes to our own lives, we're very much in this little space, and we're so used to our own thinking and being in our own head. And we talked about it before, this voice that goes on, I call it a mind chatter, and my coach calls it the critical voice. And it's this thing, and it goes on all the time, and it's whittering in your ear about all sorts of stuff. And we need to shut it up and say, I can do this. I am better than that. I can do that. And again, it's all about building up resources. You know, you wouldn't start building a house from the second floor. You have to build the foundations first. And it's the same with loving yourself, with going forward in your life, with finding your power, your true potential. It's in there, but you have to build the foundations. You can't just wake up one morning and go, okay, now I'm powerful, because the first thing that goes wrong in your life, you'll get knocked down and you'll end up sort of, you know, in a little heap in the corner, and you won't be able to deal with it. But you know, when you start building and building and building, and you know, using the analogy of building the house again, as you're building, if something sort of happens, then you've got the resources, and it might knock you back a bit, but you can go, okay, that was a situation, I didn't like it, you know, stuff happens, I'm going to have to deal with it, but I'm strong enough and I can move forward. I'm okay, I can move forward still. And so you will move forward, and maybe you'll be a bit more tentative, but that's okay, but you're still building. But if there's nothing inside and something happens, you're on the floor, you're like, oh God, what was the point, you know? And, you know, and people get depressed and sick. And that's the other thing, you know, the mind it's just so powerful. And if you let the mind rule you, you know, stress brings about all sorts of illnesses, disease, bad health, all sorts of, you know, bad relationships, overweight, lack of money, oh, you name it, it's there.
That being mindful about the way you love yourself and the way you love life can help you love other people, and can help you, gives you clarity and compassion, and your actions will reflect all those feelings. I recently came back from Asia, and each time I go there, I realize that they have the same word for mind and heart, where in the European culture, we always say you have to make that distance, take that journey from your mind to your heart. But actually, if you think about why should be a distance between your mind and your heart, why would you not listen to your mind or your heart of your mind in a way that it's happening, makes things happening right now? Why would you make that distance between now and tomorrow? Because all we have is right now, this moment in time, when we have this amazing conversation about me time with this amazing author and woman and friend and just extraordinary human being, is all we have. So why would we decide to delay the beauty of this moment, to feel this moment sometimes in the future? In the meantime, we could worry about the past. What is in your opinion the difference that people make in their own life when they gather the skills of living in the present, in the right now? Because the present is called the present for a reason. It's a gift of life. It's the most precious gift of life. So what would you say to somebody who worry too much, somebody who always thinks of what's next, and not necessarily what's next, but they are worrying about tomorrow instead of enjoying the present moment to its fullest?
Yeah, it's very difficult. A lot of people do that. They will, you're so right. They will live in the past, and then they'll try and work out what they're going to do in the future, but they don't live in the now. And that's a very difficult thing to get out of. The only thing I can suggest is, you know, loving yourself. You start loving yourself. You started off by saying, you know, if you're loving yourself, does that bring more love into your life? Do you And does that reflect with people? And that's absolutely true. It really does. Because when you love yourself and you really love yourself, you want to give. Your abilities, you want to share this awesome, amazing feeling with the world. And it's not necessarily a romantic love. It's just a love for being, a love for life. And you want to help as many people as you can, and you want to look after and nurture and care for lots and lots of people in all sorts of different ways. And I think it's by sharing that people become more aware. And so, you know, there are some people, unfortunately, who will always be looking at the past, looking at the future, and no amount of saying to them, you need to live in the now. As you say, this conversation, this moment is so precious. Whoops, it's gone. You know, that's the thing. It is so precious. And we can't be, whilst, you know, I say you have to make your goals, you have to dream about what you want in your future and create your life. That is not the same as spending your whole time thinking about, oh, I did this yesterday, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, and it's because it's always a negative. Whereas just being, and so few people do that because they're on this, you know, they're on this hamster wheel, they're on this treadmill, and they're just going, and they never stop for breath. They never stop for breath, and that's why they get stressed or sick or ill or whatever, and they don't stop. And so, and when they take a breath, unfortunately, it's because they're not well, something has happened to them, or a relationship, and then it makes them sit there and they think, oh, I've learnt my lesson now, I won't do that again. And then blow me down happens again, and they'll do exactly the same thing because they haven't learned anything. And it's not their fault. We get all these, as I say, all these beliefs from whoever when we were growing out. And so half the time we don't even know they're there. But once we start looking and start sort of uncovering some of these things, we can look at them and go, do you know what? I don't need that belief anymore. You know, when we were kids, our parents told us if we were to cross the road to be safe, you had to look both ways. Well, it's something we all still do. And it's a belief that goes on to generation because it's a very positive, very good belief to have. But sometimes, you know, if somebody said to you, if your parents said to you when you were 6 years old, don't talk to strangers, that's fine for a 6-year-old because it's a very dangerous thing to do. But to say to a grown-up, don't talk to strangers, life is full of strangers. And if we don't talk to strangers, it can make us very shy, and we can lose out on relationships. So personally, I talk to people all over the place. I'm always talking to people. And I love it because it's human connection. But, you know, if somebody had, you know, if I still had that belief, oh, I mustn't talk to strangers, my world would be very narrow. And it goes for so many of the beliefs that we have. And that's why when I work with people, I show them how to get rid of those negative beliefs that are holding them back, so that they can move forward in their lives.
Wow, Adrienne. So you are living the dream life, and I can see that. I feel your energy, and I'm sure that our listeners can feel that in your voice and in the way you articulate your message, which is so beautiful. So what is taking your breath away right now? What is exciting? What is so amazing happening in your life right now as we speak?
Oh, as we speak, I'm working on some of my dreams for the future, which are very, very exciting. I'm talking to more people. I'm getting my message out to more people. And the more people I get my message out to, the more excitement I feel, because I'm just helping to improve their lives, but not just their lives, but hopefully they will help other people. And it's like a ripple effect, and it will just grow and grow and grow. And that's what I want. This whole sort of ripple so that the whole world is healed, if you like, which would be an incredible, wonderful thing. You know, knowing wonderful people like you, Marina, meeting so many amazing people that, and we're all on the same path, we're all on the same trajectory, working towards helping people find their truth and their potential. And so that for me is one of my great dreams. It's awesome. It really is exciting.
Wow, Adrienne, I'm so grateful for sharing this me time with us. I'm sure that everybody was taking notes, and I have perhaps a lot of questions to forward to you later on today. So,
Okay.
what would you advise somebody who wants to get in touch with you? Where they can find you? How they can become your students? How they can connect with you? What is the best way to unveil me time for themselves?
Okay. Probably the best thing to do is send me an email, and I would quite happily offer a half an hour free consultation with anybody who quotes that they've heard me on the lovely Marina W.O.R.K.S. So yes, I would quite happily do that. My email address is admin, ADMIN, at theawareneszone.co.uk.
Thank you so much for everything, for your love, for your passion, for your compassion, for your kindness. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. And I wish you an amazing me time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marina. I love you. Take care.
Love
Bye
you
bye.
too. Bye bye.